Hi everyone, welcome to Automation Testing Series by Star Agile. Whether you are just starting out or looking to level up your testing skill, you are at right place. I am Satyam. I'll be your guide throughout this journey. In this first video, we are going to talk about what is software testing and how it is necessary to build quality application. Manual testing versus automation testing. So let's get started. In this video, we'll learn about what software testing is. But before going to the manual testing and automation testing, we need to know what exactly the software testing is. Let's understand this with an example. This is the product, and in this product, suppose this is the developer who is developing the code, and here you are the tester, right? So once the code is developed, and if it is going to the testing environment, right? So we need to do the testing. Why we need to do the testing is basically, if you don't do the testing and if this product goes to live, then what happens is your business will go in severe loss. To avoid this loss, we need to do testing, right? So testing is nothing but basically, we need to understand what exactly the issues present in software which has been developed by developer, right? So see, let's understand with one example. Okay, suppose this facebook.com is there, right? So in the facebook.com, if certain application, suppose login screen has been developed, right? So there can be many validation like username, password, email ID, right? Checkboxes. So whether these things are proper or not, how exactly we'll be doing it, right? So we need to test it. Once this testing has been done, then in that case it will go to live. So testing is basically, finding out what exactly the issues are involved in development, right? And to tell to the development team what exactly the issues are there, right? So so there are many types of software testing. Okay, so one is manual testing and one is automation testing. For automation testing, we'll talk in the later videos, but for manual testing, if you talk about, then manual testing, there are two types. One is functional and one is non-functional. So functional, again, we have categories like unit testing, then functional testing, then we have integration testing, and then we have accessibility testing, right? So these all the things are involved in functional testing. If you talk about non-functional testing, then we have security testing, we have performance testing, we have globalization testing, right? So these all the things we need to keep it in mind before we go ahead. Again, so functional testing, as I told, it comes with many different examples, right? So in this functional testing, first we need to cover up what exactly it is. So functional testing is basically, suppose one text box is there, right? And in that, suppose there is the validation, right? Users can enter only 4 characters, right? Because there are 4 columns, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So only 4 columns user can enter. Then in that case, if user is not able to, then we will validate whether we'll try to enter 5 characters. So in this 5 characters, it should show error message that user is allowed to enter only 4 characters, right? So this kind of testing comes under functional testing, where we check basically the functionality of an application, how it is behaving, if you are giving wrong passwords, or if you are reaching out of the box the required limit, right? So in that case, this error message will come. Second testing is integration testing. What exactly integration testing is basically? In integration testing, basically we check the flow of the data from one module to another module, right? So suppose you are A and certain person is B, right? So how the flow of data is happening from A to B, right? So to make sure, suppose this is facebook.com, and here if you send a text message hi to someone, right, and it has reached to B, So to confirm whether it has reached to B or not, in that way we do the integration testing, so that the user B has received the required information, right? So this is what it is. It is like flow of the data, how it is coming from A to B and B to A, right? How we text, right? From how we text from each other, right? That's how it is happening from A to B and B to A, how the text messages are happening. So this comes as a integration testing. Another, we have system testing. Basically system testing is nothing but we basically test entire application, right? End-to-end functionality we test from the starting to the end, and we check if there are any issues persistent over there, right? So to make sure if there is no issue in that particular software, then we do the system testing. It is kind of, you can say the later point of testing, which we do at the later stage of the testing, basically you can say. And then again, if you talk about functional, these are the functional testing perspective. If you talk about non-functional testing, right? So just a minute, I'll just erase this entire thing. And then we'll talk about what exactly the non-functional testing is. Because software testing, as I told, there are two types, functional as well as non-functional. Currently I spend functional testing. Now we'll go and learn about non-functional testing. So non-functional testing, basically we have what? Security testing. We check any security leakage are happening, right? Username, password is not showing up in the network tab, right? If you go to any sort of website, suppose this one, if you go to network, right, and if you load this page, once the page is loaded, then if you go here, so we need to expand this. Let me expand this. Yeah. So here if you see, sometimes what happens is like here username and password, or some cross errors comes, or some snippet error comes, right? So those all the things, to avoid those things, we need to make sure that basically suppose like see X content type options, right? No sniff, right? Sometimes it comes as sniff. So these all the things like we validate in security testing, so that other user should not see these options in the header part. But also, like suppose if you are validating a username and password, right, and if you are entering the password and if the API has been hit here, so we'll sometimes what happens in the network tab, in the response we'll be able to see username and password given here, right? Ideally the password should be hidden so that no one else will be able to see, right? So to avoid that, we do the security testing. Second, we have what? Performance testing. So let's go on the screen. Let's go here. 1 second. I'll erase this. So as you know that what is performance testing basically is? Performance testing is basically testing the load of an application. Suppose one application is there. If you give certain number of load in the sense what? Suppose Amazon is there, right? Amazon website. So how many persons are using this Amazon website, right? Suppose in an average, if suppose 100 people are using, if suddenly what happens certain day, some 1 lakh people are using it together, right? So there is the chance that this particular application can crash. So to check this performance or load, we do the performance testing. So these are the kind of types of software testing, right? So this is exactly this is what exactly the software testing is, basically, where we have functional as well as non-functional testing, and as well as there is something called black box testing as well as white box testing. Okay, so this functional as well as non-functional, right? Functional and non-functional, these are the types of black box testing which is being done by testers. Okay, and this is development. So white box testing is being done by developers. Who does that? Developers. Okay, so basically this developer will do white box testing. How? By unit testing. What is unit testing? Basically is testing each and every line of the code. Suppose he has written one code, right? So he will cross check whether this code has been written properly or not, or if there is an error or not. if there is an error, then they will fix it. So this basically white box testing in simple terms is being done by developers, and black box testing is being done by testers, right? So that is the difference. So these are the types which are present in software testing. So that's all about software testing. We'll talk about what is the difference between manual testing and automation testing. So as name suggests, manual testing, right? So it is being done by humans, right? They write the test cases, they check the functionality of an application manually. But if you talk about automation testing, so automation testing is purely done by by running the scripts, right? It doesn't require any human intervention, right? So we need to write the scripts, and then we need to run it. So let's understand this with some example, right? So manual testing, so I'll just write it over here, manual and automation, right? So this manual testing is purely done by human. Okay, how they do is, this is being done by checking each and every line, each and every field of an application, how it is behaving, by different ways like boundary and value analysis, different, these are like kind of different testing strategy you guys must be knowing, right? So this is purely done by humans. Automation testing is purely done by scripting, right? We script it. So how we script is, it all depends on us, right? Which language we want to script it. Either it can be Python, Java, JavaScript, Ruby, whatever, right? So it all depends on us, but we use it, we use these languages to script it, right? So automation testing is always better than manual testing. Why? So we'll understand this with some examples, and what I'll do is I'll make a separation so that we'll understand what is the difference between manual as well as automation testing. So guys, so here is manual and here is automation. So manual testing, right? The first point would be, it is being done by humans, right? Humans. And here automation testing, it is being done by running the script, okay? So that is the first difference. The second difference would be, here right, if we do manual testing, so if you are doing by human, there can be the chance of human errors, right? Sometimes you forget few things, right, that you are not able to test, or you forgot that particular step to test it. But in automation, right, it is purely on automation scripts, right? So wherever you will run the script, it will be covering all the functionality of an application. Okay, so that's why automation testing is always helpful, and it is very preferable in the market rather than manual testing. We won't say that manual testing is not there. Still, manual testing is required, because this is the first step in any software testing. Manual testing we need to do first, and after that we need to go for automation testing. But why we are talking about automation testing is, it is very fast, and kind of most of the MNC companies, or any company, software domain or any domain, they will be adopting automation testing, because this is very much fast. So the third point I was coming about, execution speed. Here the speed will be kind of slow, but here the speed is kind of very fast. Why? Because we are doing it through the script, right? And also automation testing is effective for large applications, right? If suppose like Amazon, Flipkart, those are very, very large applications. So for that we can use automation testing. But manual testing will be kind of applicable for ad hoc testing or small projects, right? Small projects are there. So in that case we'll be using manual testing, right? And also see, human testers are there, right? Where, as I spoke in the second point, testers can make mistakes, but automation will never, because this is kind of automating, right? We are automating the things, right? So that's why. And also this is very much faster, right? So again the point will come, why we do automation testing, right? So automation testing we do because of various parameters. The first would be, you know, if certain number of, you know, functionality we are checking it, right? So those functionalities, if, you know, if we are checking it regularly, right, repetitive. So to avoid the repetition, we will be, to avoid the repetition, we'll be we'll be dealing about automation testing to avoid, so that, you know, once you write the code, right, and that code you just have to, you know, play it or run it. So what will happen, once you run the code, all the scripts, all the points will be taken care. So how many times you want to run, those many times you just play the, you know, or run the script, right? So whatever the repetitive task done by, you know, humans or manual testers, this will be kind of time taking. You know, automation testing is just one click go and you can just automate it, right? So this is the main advantage I feel. The second advantage I will tell, we need to understand basically like when to go for automation testing. Okay, so what happens is we'll have already in most of the MNC company, we'll have manual testing test cases has been written, right? And what we do is, like, being an automation tester, we automate those test cases. How exactly we will do it? We'll do it with the help of you know, any tool, and also with the programming language. But first we need to understand which all the test cases we can automate, right? So first would be repetitive test cases. So whatever the test cases are repetitive, we need to, you know, automate it, because if you do it manually, it will be very much time taking. So that's why we'll go for automation testing for the repetitive test cases. If there are, you know, kind of large data sets, right? So suppose like username, password is there, and this you need to, you know, play with username and password with different sets of data, right? Because you will be checking valid, invalid scenarios, positive as negatives, positive as well as, you know, negative, right? Negative testing. So in that case, it will involve lot of test data, right? So again and again, entering through manual will be a tedious task, you can say, right? So rather than doing that, what we can do is we can go to automation testing. So automation testing will be required if there are, you know, large number of datas. The third would be, you know, if like frequent changes happen in the software, right? So suppose certain software is there, right, where the code you have written it to automate it, and some part has been changed. So what you need to do in that case is just you need to go to the script, and that part alone you need to update it. Once you update that part alone, then what will happen is this will be done. Okay, so this will be automated. So in that case, you just have to, you know, once automated, just click on play button, then it will be played, right? So you don't have to test like exact thing, you have to write the scripts and all, not required. Wherever the changes happen, just update that script. So in that case also, you know, automation testing will be required, right? Fourth would be kind of, you know, platform testing, platform wise testing. So what does it mean is basically, if you want to test one product in different platforms in the sense what, suppose you want to check in, you know, desktop, right, mobile, tablet, these all the things, if you do by manually, it will be very much time taking. So to avoid that, we can go for automation testing, right? And also suppose like if you want to test any software in different browsers, right? So different browsers if you want to do, so browsers in the sense Mozilla, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, whatever, right? So if you go and do manually, so firstly you have to do for Mozilla, then Chrome, then Firefox, then Safari. So it will be kind of very much tedious and time taking, right? Because you have to go one by one everything and do it. To avoid that, what we can do is we can just automate it, and there is something called parallel testing in automation. Okay, so what happens is, I'll explain this in later videos what exactly the parallel testing is. For now, just understand parallel testing is basically used to test one feature or any, you know, product in different you know, browsers. So you just have to click it and it will run in all the browsers, you know, together, right? So that's why. So these are the 4-5 points these are the major points. There are many others, but these are the 5 points why exactly we should do the automation testing, right guys? So in the later video we'll understand what exactly it is, but for now for now it is like, you know, what exactly and why we do. Hope you guys have understood, right? So automation testing is kind of very much reliable and it is very much fast, and it can cover anything, right? So to avoid human intervention, human errors, we go for automation testing, right? Yeah, so that's all guys for this video. We'll see you in the next video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. And if you're looking to earn a globally recognized certification in automation testing, be sure to check our Star Agile automation testing course. The link is in description. Thanks for watching and keep learning. I will see you in the next video.